Welcome, Warriors, back for another episode of Warriors, Vigor Warriors 2. Sorry about that. I'm driving somewhere right now, but I wanted to kind of make a video and talk about one of the issues. I've had a lot of great people responding back and subscribing, and so continue doing that and subscribe and hit the like button. We'll talk about a bunch of different issues like trying to stay on your purpose and those type of things, and nightfall and those type of things that people have been asking me about. This one, however, I want to kind of focus on looking at retention as not really being the only thing you got to do. Waiting for a couple cars to go by here. But retention is something that is a good start, because what it does, it gives you a chance to control, learn how to self-control yourself. If you're able to do something like that, whether it's for 10 days, and some people are on different journeys, 10 days, 5 days, if you're able to do it for 40 days, if you're lucky enough to go like I am, 400 some days, and do this, you're going to see a lot of great benefits. But the biggest benefit to me is that you build a habit of self-control, and you use that self-control for other types of things. But retention by itself is not the only thing. Retention is good, but what you got to do is you're going to have to transmute that energy, and you're going to have to kind of move it up and be able to kind of use it in different ways. And we're going to talk about one of the books, Napoleon Hill's book, and how to transmute those things specifically. But you cannot just focus on retention by itself. It's not enough just to retain. That's a great start, and it gets you that, but you're going to have to do those type of things that are going to get you to the next level and use the energy. It's almost like a dam with water, and the water keeps growing and growing in there. You're not letting it out of you. Obviously, you're not expending your energy, but you're going to go ahead and somehow get to the point where the dam is going to overflow unless you do something about it. And this is what happens when people, people can get, upset or depressed and things like that if they're not doing anything with the, with the energy they have. If they're only sitting at home and you're sitting and just watching TV and watching videos and not doing anything, and you're not using that energy for goals, then you could get, upset, frustrated, and depressed with that. But you have to kind of learn how to transmute that energy into something that's constructive. So whether it's goals that you have, you're trying to make money, if it's trying to be successful in sports, if it's trying to be successful in things you're doing, all those things make a huge difference when it comes to using the energy. Now, on the other hand, you also have a lot of things that are going to try to stop you from using that energy in constructive ways. Obviously, distractions and images and those type of things, but you have to kind of avoid those type of things. You have to kind of stay on your purpose, stay on your goal. But retention, which is one of the questions I had, by itself, it's a great foundation. It's a great habit to start forming, that you're not going to just go ahead and give into that temptation and do that whenever the time comes through. You have to kind of use that as a stepping stone, however, and to go ahead and say, okay, now that I have this, how can I actually go ahead and use this energy in a way that's going to be very, I'll make a turn here, but it's going to be very positive, and I can use that energy for positive types of things. If you can, can you imagine if you have that energy to be able to have a child, and help have a child using that energy you have there? If you have that energy, can you imagine if you keep it in the body and you use it in a constructive way, and you're able to go ahead and transmute that, transfer that into something else like weightlifting or working out and things like that? You would be amazing, and that's kind of the feeling you have. So part of the success you have retention is not only retention, but it's also using that in a way in which you can use that to transmute your energy. I'm going to stop here for a second. But that's the kind of key, guys, to look at this. It's not really just the retention part of it. It really is more the ability to transmute and using it for something else. So whenever you're thinking about trying to, look at a picture, or you're trying to, you get excited, those type of things, always try to condition yourself to think that, think of all, that's, first of all, that's just kind of a bag of bones. I know I'm joking about it, but it's only a bag of bones. and then kind of refocus and say, okay, what do I got to do? Anything you can do to get your mind off of it is good, okay? Because it's going to be a very strong feeling. But the key, guys, especially if you're really on this journey and you want to make it a lifestyle. Now, for some of you younger people, you may decide this is not for you, and you want to go ahead and have a balance and do those things, and that's fine. You want to, especially if you're married or you want to have children, things like that. And certainly, procreation is a very appropriate type of thing. I'm not really talking about those type of things. What I'm talking about is people who just kind of give up their energy and just sit around and they get tired, more tired, they're doing nothing, and they're just kind of wasting their life away. I want you to kind of say to yourself, okay, I can take control of this more and be able to use this when I want to use this, and I want to be able to kind of say, okay, I have control of this now. I'm not losing control of this. And that to me is the key. But in order to do that, you have to find things to do with the energy. And like I said, we'll get into specific type exercises and breathing and things like that in another video. But the key, guys, is that retention by itself is not the only solution. The solution really is to find things that you can transmute, they call it, or transfer your energy from, thinking and trying to lose it, lose your energy, to go ahead and say, okay, instead of losing my energy, I'm going to use the energy to go ahead and go work out, take a run, okay? Walk my dog, right? Weight lift. I'm going to go ahead and do some homework. I'm going to go ahead and focus on a project, do a hobby. I think anything you can get involved into that's going to take your mind away from that is a good thing. Now, as you develop a habit to that, you're going to end up finding better and better types of results, because you're basically going to go ahead and say, okay, I've succeeded. I'm now building habit, and especially after you get through a certain amount of days, sorry, I got to turn it there. You get past a certain amount of days, all of a sudden it becomes like second nature. And now, like you said, when you're at the point that I'm at right now and doing hard mode, I don't really think about it that much. And in those times when it comes up and I'm, something hits me or something walks across my line of vision, all of a sudden I'm still thinking to myself, okay, I still have control. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now, it's not going to say that you may still relapse at times. Once again, that's something that is not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't fit into your overall goal and things that you really want to do. You don't really want to kind of lose control of that and kind of succumb to the temptations and do those type of things. So once again, the whole key to what we're talking about in this episode is that retention is a good start, but retention is not enough unless you do the transmutation, the transferring of energy. Find things to use your energy for that can be more solid than what you're doing. Because in the long run, you're not going to succeed unless you end up doing that. And that's kind of the key to the whole thing. Okay? So as I make one more turn here, I'm going to pull in. And so I'm going to let you guys go. But have a great day and battle on.